Hey guys, today we're going to be talking and playing through the final boss of Splatoon Raiders. And while this is going to be almost entirely a positive video, I am going to have opinions, so if you are allergic to those, you know, this is your cue. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun, so it's mostly positive stuff. Just saying, wow, this was a ton of fun. And also, this should be super obvious, but spoiler alert, if you don't want to see the entire final boss fight, don't watch. That doesn't seem complicated. So, yeah, I would have loved more lead up, more allusion to the boss fight in the earlier parts of the game. Like, we got the notes after we did each of the area bosses, but I still would have loved more, wow, this guy is coming to destroy the world. Hurrah. Back in present, I love this cutscene. I think it's interesting. I don't love the transition between the giant orange mass and the horrifying fish. Also, I don't really understand where the gun came from and where our gun went. I would have loved to use my fake well string in this fight. But, you know, it's just average part of a Splatoon game. Get a splatter shot. But yeah, I'm gonna skip through most of this just because it takes a long time and the gameplay isn't super interesting. But yeah, I thought the missiles were fun. I like that they didn't just show dots on the ground and then exploded on them. Rocks, I don't think they should have been able to shoot through, but you know, it's fine. I think it didn't really get difficult for me, at least, until the end. This was the first time I really started taking damage when I actually did the run. Now, this is I don't actually know which time this was. It's second or third time I did the boss fight that I did that, and it wasn't, difficult or anything. I did think that this end part was fun, just getting shot up into the air. I thought I kind of laughed a little. The breaks were something. I did not love how long the cutscenes were. I love how expressive the Octoling was. Just so much fun. Big Man doing the one thing that he does in this entire boss fight, like the preset, I mean. Believe me, he's gonna do more later. But yeah, we got this horrifying fish. Great look at it. I'm gonna skip through most of this cutscene because it's also really long. Love that they're finally including the mechanic instead of just saying that, they existed, admitting that at least. Again with the breaks, why are you just spending 5 seconds? We have to do this on the Switch too. Why did it take so long? And again, why is my weapon back? Where did it come from? Where did it go? Making like Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah, I was skipping through most of this fight because it wasn't particularly interesting the way I did it. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I was using the bow and I could just one-shot all of the flying eggs as they came in, which, seemed ill-designed. But you could just finish it with the big man and make it through pretty easily. I did like the inclusion of the eels and Master Mega in, the defeating of the boss. Again, would have loved some cutscene big man. And then I'm again gonna skip through some of this because I'm not gonna lie, I died a couple times. That was another issue that I had with this. Why the heck did we not, like, get punished for any of losing our lives? Like, why? He gave us bonuses for losing our lives. Like, if you were like me and you died a couple times, it literally set you forward, not back. You could just teleport in between islands by throwing yourself off a cliff. Which felt a little bit silly to me. And just, you know. And I'm gonna skip through a little bit of this. Because it was just me shooting at the eggs. Charging up my showstopper, which I didn't like need or anything. Because I don't know. It was fun the first time I died. Like, I failed overall on the first one a lot, but once I got to the second and the third one and I got the showstopper getting cycled through, it just wasn't as difficult. And that was a little bit sad, but you know, it was alright. It's a showstopper. It's supposed to stop the show. So yeah. Now we get the final head. I would have loved for the parkour to have been just a little bit harder here. And admittedly it was, you know, harder than the other ones, but also, again, they aren't actually punishing you for failing at all. Like, I just take the entire thing from the Summon Arc attack, and it just, I just don't care. I don't need to care about any of it because it's not actually punishing me at all. The only thing it's doing is taking up time, and it's not on a timer. Like, I don't know, it just seemed a little bit ill-designed to me. So I just jump off a cliff, poof, and I'm back to where I was. I'm forward of where I was, even. It's just silly to me. Again, I just jump off a cliff, and bang, I'm on the final platform. What is going on? Like, what designer thought this was a good idea? We're not getting trapped, and if we were, it doesn't matter, because there's no time. Now, for this last one, I just wanted to show how bizarrely overpowered the showstoppers are. So, I pretty much just stood still for the first minute of it, first 2/3 of it, respawned, jumped up, and then used my showstopper. By the way, I started this with 120 eggs out of 1,800. One showstopper, admittedly it was powered up, but still, it should not take 15 seconds to fully go through and beat the final phase of the final boss. And I do call it the final phase, because this was not a final phase. We never actually fought the boss. And this was one of the issues that I had with this whole sequence, is we never actually had to shoot it. That boss never got shot by us. That was one of, I think, like, the failings of this fight. You never actually got to, like, shoot it. I wanted to shoot it. I wanted to shoot this kaiju. Yeah, it's just, ugh. I wish we'd been able to go hand to hand with it. And we didn't. And it's fine. Like, we got to use Deep Cut. They didn't actually do a whole ton throughout the game, except for sing it rocks. But, you know, it's fine. We got to do a little bit more jumping around, a little more parkour around rocks. Got to jump off a couple more cliffs. I love that we were able to go back and find our ship get like the crane and all of that going. And admittedly, it did take me a minute to figure out what was going on when I ran it the first time, but not so long that I actually lost the battle. I would have loved for the timer on that phase to be a lot shorter. I think it would be a lot of fun if you had to hit like, not like frame perfect movement, but like you had to do it right. And in this you aren't seeing it, but when I did it the first time, I was playing with the splatolites, which means basically all I had to do was spam the L trigger and run forward. It felt ill-designed. Yeah. But also, for the last part, I would have loved to have at least them say what they thought it was trying to do here. Because, like, what's going on? Like, congratulations, it made a cloud, it's gonna rain for a second. Like, it didn't feel like a world-ending final stage. It didn't feel like this was the climax of the game. It felt like what happened a second ago was the climax of the game. It just felt a little anticlimactic, I said. Yeah. I love the eels and the shark coming back. I think they are lots of fun. This scene was a little bit funny and confusing to me. That's alright. And I loved the callback to the end of the Splatoon 3 story mode. Sorry for the spoiler, but a whole lot of you have already played that. So, you know, we get to go back again. Big Man does nothing for us, except for stand there and look supportive. And now we get to the spammy bit, and I've played several like spam boss fights. Like, I played Luigi's Mansion. A lot of the other Splatoon titles had, you know, spam fights at the end of these, just to make it feel, you know, more like these cinematic spam fights. And I've never had to spin the joystick with one exception. And that exception was cooking in Pokemon Sword and Shield. And that it took all the seriousness out of it for me. I thought I was just cracking up this entire time. It was so unserious. And also, finally, surely I'm not the only one thinking it. Like, surely not. With that entire final scene. The spam attack one, I mean. But, again, we get to drill down the thing. Which is, you know, what it is. It's just a thing. I don't want to say that I would have liked the screen splatting, but I kind of would have. Just as a callback to every other boss fight and every other Splatoon game ever. But yeah, we got to see the clean islands. It's lots of fun. All in all, it was a fun boss fight. It was interesting. So, what would I have liked to change? I think it would have been interesting if we could have, you know, shot the thing. And I kind of wish that the showstoppers were a little bit worse or less powerful. But that's all I would change. It was a lot of fun. I felt like it summed up the game pretty well. And just did a good job. It was an amazing game. I enjoyed it a lot. And if you enjoyed this video a lot, like, comment, subscribe. You'll see more Splatoon Raiders and Splatoon 3 content. That's what I do. Thanks for watching.